Today we're looking at two pairs of headphones from a US company called ZMF. These are their Flagship closed-back headphones. This is the ZMF Eikon. This is a little bit older of a design, and this is the ZMF Verite. Relatively new design for them. Both at one point have been called their Flagship closed-back. So we're going to do a little compare and contrast and see which one comes out on top. So ZMF, if you're not familiar with, which if you're in the head-fi world, you probably are because they've got quite a bit of notoriety these days. Cool sort of startup story. I guess started doing like pads, replacement pads for a number of different headphones, and then doing mods like T50 mods and stuff. And now they've got a full line of headphones which are easily identifiable because they really focus on these wood cups, machined wood cups. They source a lot of interesting woods, and they have sourced some pretty interesting dynamic drivers that they use in their headphones. Most of this line is all dynamic drivers. This is the Eikon, and this pair is in cherry, I believe. So one of the fun things about ZMF is that they will release different variations of the headphone in different woods, which I think is mostly kind of an aesthetic thing, but it's also a little bit of a weight issue, and to a certain degree the density of the wood, the porousness of the wood, other factors will in theory influence the sound, right? Inside here is the home of the driver, and so the what's going on in there is the room in which you're listening to the music. So it stands to reason that it makes a difference. Their stuff's really nice. It's a pretty premium headphone, so it's all leather. Nice leather strap, all metal components. Most of these I think they machine in-house. But since it is a handmade product and it's made in low volumes, you can sort of see down inside some of these vents. There's not, paint's not perfectly all the way in there, things like that. So, there's some little things that remind you that these are a handmade pair of headphones. So the Eikons, I'm not sure exactly when they came out. Let's just say 3 or 4 years ago. I think maybe they were one of the earlier headphones to use the newer ZMF driver. This pair is probably 3 years old, just for comparison as we look at it against the Verite. These things sound awesome. These things sound so good to my ears. They have a real sort of natural tonality to them. I wouldn't call them overly warm. They're kind of V-shaped, so they've got this bass. They've got such good deep bass. It's very well controlled as well. It's got a lot of impact, a lot of slam. I don't know, but they're just super fun. The like I said, since they're V-shaped, we're sort of emphasizing the lower registry. We're emphasizing a bit of the higher registry. That'd probably be my complaint for these, is that I think that the highs can get a little bit sibilant and a little bit shouty to my ear. But I think overall it's just still a super rewarding listening experience and a lot of fun. It just makes music fun. It's definitely one of these headphones that I put on and it just makes me want to just sit and listen. But they do fatigue me a little bit. That's the reality of it. I think both of these headphones actually do fatigue me a little bit. These probably more than the Verite. And I think the surprise for me with these is when you think about a closed back dynamic, and you think about something that's kind of V-shaped and something that's kind of fun, it has a little bit of warmth. You don't also expect it to be very spacious, and I feel like these headphones really, they reach out and you get a real sense of the room that the music was recorded in. You get this great separation. Things really float out from your ears, and I find that very rewarding. I like that sort of feeling like they're open back, or feeling a little bit more like I'm listening to speakers and I'm hearing stuff that's away from my ears. And I think these do a great job of that. So, I mean, I would endorse these wholeheartedly. I think especially the prices you can get in the used market. It's a very exciting pair of headphones that I was looking at the Fostex TX0. I can't remember the numbers, but it's the Woodies from Fostex that they did with Mass Drop, and those are great. And I feel like if you like those, you'd love these. Like, that was a sort of evolution path for me, from those guys to these guys. And it's like a lot of the things I love about that are just sort of refined in a headphone like this. All right, so that's the Eikons. And now the big boys, the Verite. The Verite is interesting because it comes in both a open back and a closed back version. I've not heard the open back, and since we're looking at closed ZMFs, this is the right pair to be comparing. These are in monkey wood, I believe. So very pretty. One thing you notice just immediately is how much lighter these are. So neither of these headphones are light. They're big wood cupped monster headphones, but these ones are so much more light and wearable, and talk about comfort in a sec. These have some of the more updated features, some of the new rod style that Zach's doing, and these come with the magnesium instead of aluminum, which is a lighter material. I mean, aluminum's pretty light to begin with, so that's just saving you a tiny bit of weight. But it's the same construction ultimately. These nice leather bands, leather straps. And these guys are a little better at sort of staying put. Could just be that those Eikons are a little older, but this system on them seems to be a little loosey-goosey. So when I first got these and put them on, I could tell immediately that they had a very sort of sophisticated sound, that there was a ton of detail coming forward. And just, it was almost like information overload though, a little bit, and they felt pretty close in. And so I felt kind of claustrophobic, and I was like a little bit surprised in that the Eikons felt so spacious and open to me. These are also much less V-shaped, although they still do have, I guess, what you'd call the kind of ZMF house sound. They've still got some pretty amazing low end, and they're still very good at articulating the highs. But what these do for superior to the Eikons is they really resolve that mid-range and bring a lot of detail and texture forward. I ended up poking around on the interwebs, and a handful of people had recommended going to the velour, I don't know, suede pad. These are actually the Eikon suede pad, which are a little bit deeper of a pad than what would come stock on here. And these do come with two sets of pads, which is kind of interesting. Two different pads tuned that change the tuning a little, which is pretty cool. But I think for me, both of the tunings were still a little bit harsh. I mean, it's this thing where you're like, oh, that detail's so cool, and you want to just pick all the little elements out. But I also don't want to hurt. I want to relax and enjoy the music. So there's a balance there between just raw detail retrieval and just shotgunning everything into you, and finding that balance. And for me, once I got these pads on there, I really found that balance. Like I said, they're a little taller, so they open up the room, the ear room a little bit. They just open up the sound stage a little bit for me. They soften things just that hair that I needed them to. And now these for me are the winner. As they should be, because they're frickin' expensive. I think the Eikons are in the $1,500 range, $1,500 range. These are north of $2,000. I want to say maybe $2,500 new, or $2,400. I mean, these are really expensive headphones, crazy expensive headphones. So they should be amazing. And I think they are. I think these are really, really brilliant. These are just easier to live with too, because they're lighter. You can kind of wear them for longer stretches. They don't become uncomfortable. And again, the other ones I own are a little bit older, so maybe it's not fair. Maybe these will start to loosen and get all slack as time goes on, but I just feel a little tighter. It's a newer design. The team over there at ZMF has obviously been learning and growing over time, as you watch the progress of their headphones. But I don't know if these are the winner for everyone. And I think that's sort of something that's important to keep in mind if you are interested in a big woody closed back from ZMF. These still get the fun award from me, and I'm going to be parting with them, and it's sad to see them go. But I have some other fun bassy headphones, so that's the call I made. Had I not had other things that sort of gave me that fun, big lows, bright highs, just energetic vibe, I might have been inclined to keep them. In fact, when I got them and I first tried the Verite, I was like, oh no, I'm an Eikon man, I'm sticking with those. But as I spent more time with them, tuned the pads and everything, I really did find them to be the more rewarding and more enjoyable headphone. So yeah, a couple of notes on accessories. ZMF makes cables. It's one of the other things they do, and I was shocked to find so all these guys attach with the little mini XLR that's used by Audeze and Meze and a bunch of other folks. What I was sort of shocked to find with the Eikons is just the included cable, which looks like some crazy, I can't get that to focus, but it looks like some crazy, like, cheap ass like VCR cable from the 80s. I mean, it's just so unlikable. They do bundle with the Verite, one of their slightly higher end cables, but by no means one of their super high end cables. And this is a much more enjoyable cable, although it's still, for the price of these headphones, it just doesn't feel right. It's still very plasticky and cheap. At the higher end, ZMF does do cool braided cables. This one's a little bit of an older model, but they do some really nice stuff. And this is just an aluminum junction, but they'll do some nice wood junctions and stuff that you can really go crazy and spend a lot of money. This is a thing they make called the Copilot. I believe the first one was maybe called the Pilot Pad, the Copilot. This guy I got for the Eikons because I found the Eikons to be relatively uncomfortable over time because they're really heavy, and so I start to get some hot spots from up here. And so they make this guy, and you put them onto the comfort strap, and then they're just kind of dreamy. I mean, they're still big, giant, goofy, heavy headphones, but this thing is awesome from a comfort level. I'm gonna hang on to it and throw it on the Verite just for double comfort. Why not? Who doesn't love more comfort? Okay, there's another classic long ramble for me. Hope you found this interesting. These are both awesome headphones. I think ZMF's a really fun and interesting company. I love the sound of both of them. I think they're really rewarding and very special. If you're looking for something very special to have in your collection or have as your only headphone, I think this is not a bad way to go. And the nice thing about these things is they really hold their value because there are not that many of them out there. And so if you get into one on the used market, you can probably enjoy it for a while and sell it on for near what you bought it. So that's also a big advantage of going with more of a boutique headphone like this. Okay, well, that's it for me. If you like this video, I got a handful of other ones in the channel. I'm doing some just quick hit ones and some longer ones like this. I love your feedback on what style you like and what kind of things are interesting. If you've tried other ZMF headphones, I'd love your thoughts on those. Leave a comment. Or if you've listened to other big woody closed headphones that you think are awesome and should be in people's consideration set, please leave that in the comments as well. Go ahead and subscribe, like the video, yada 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 yada. Signcraft, signing out.